welcome. I always do that. I go like welcome, like with open arms. But I mean, fuck it. It's all good. I know that for this channel, it seems that individuals are really connecting and like have questions with regards to my MS, and then there's people that are also getting diagnosed with MS and still have like, you're like, okay, like, whoa, I just got diagnosed with this, like, how are you kind of like battling this, that, and the third? For me, one of the more interesting things of like having MS is, and if people don't know what MS is, go look it up, because I'm not a doctor, and then two, I don't know the actual definition. I just know that it's basically like my immune system is attacking itself, and that's about all I got. And like it can like deteriorate your body. Oh my god, excuse me, I had to burp. Whatever, what have you. And so with that, one of the struggles that I have is I work out pretty heavily, just to like combat the MS, or what I think is combating the MS, because I'm like strengthening my muscles, and it's like, how can my muscles give out if I'm working them out all the time? Isn't that like the oxymoronic? It's like, okay, they're gonna get weaker because, you know, the muscle tissues are breaking down. Okay, that doesn't matter. Ipso facto, I will have like a lot of times where like I'll have shoulder pain, or I'll have like tingling in my legs or my thighs, like, and like I'll have all this pain like in all sorts of my body. But then it's like I have to sit there and I have to think, I'm like, okay, like, is this pain from a workout or is this MS pain? Like, do I need to be worried about this, or is this something that is just kind of like, this is happening because I decided to do 10 sets of squats yesterday? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like this even keel of just like, okay, like, is this happening because of this, or is it happening because of this? And so that's one struggle that I find myself having on a day-to-day with having MS, because it's just like, so like, it's kind of my fault, right? Like, I could like kind of lower it down, I could give myself more rest days, but who the fuck wants to do that? Are you kidding? But I would say, to be completely honest, the biggest struggle, and like, knock on wood, like, hopefully I don't want any other big struggles to come along, but the biggest struggle that I currently have, I am always tired. Always. And when you're tired, you're not cognitively thinking correctly. Like, I feel like you can't really think straight when you're tired. Like, and you can't be creative, you can't really like, you just don't have full capacity of your brain. And I am always tired. Now, you might be saying, Ashby, your word flow is fantastic right now. Yes, it is. Would you like to know how many cups of coffee I've had? Feel free to guess. Feel free to guess. Oh, I'll wait. 3. I've had 3 cups of coffee. 3 cups of coffee. It's 1 o'clock right now. I've had 3 cups of coffee. I woke up at 5. Yeah, it's a Saturday. Woke up at 5, I've had 3 cups of coffee, which, to be completely fair, is not that bad considered my usual rate. Usually, I'll go to the gym, and so I'll have pre-workout, right? I'll have pre-workout, which that's about 220 to 260 milligrams of caffeine, and then I'll have a cup of coffee when I get back. Like, I'll have coffee with breakfast. So then that's whatever amount of caffeine's in that one, right? And then in like 2 to 3 hours after that, I'll have another cup of coffee. If I'm not having a coffee, I'll have a Red Bull, sugar-free, because I don't do a whole lot of sugar. But, and not that makes it any better, but I'll have a Red Bull. And then at like 3 o'clock, I'll have another coffee. Guess what? Guess fucking what? Guess fucking what? Guess fucking what? Guess what? This is how tired I get. So all that caffeine, first off, you're gonna talk about like, oh, like your heart's gonna stop. It's like, my heart feels fine. I'll be honest, like, I don't get any heart palpitations. I probably have a little bit of like a caffeine addiction. Sure, that's fine. I understand that. That's my only addiction. That's my only addiction. But yeah, all that caffeine, guess who's the first one to fall asleep when it's time for bed? Me and my girlfriend. It's me. I fall asleep like that. As soon as cause I go to bed at like 8. Like as soon as my head hits that pillow, I'm out. I'm so out. It doesn't even matter. It does not matter how much caffeine I have. That should tell you how fucking just like much my body is just like ready to go to sleep. The first initial signs, the first initial signs that I knew something was up before I even got the optic neuritis and like was like kind of like blind. I don't know why I was like searching for that word. Blind. It was because for like 3 to 4 days beforehand, I was going to bed at like 9, and this is when I was in college. I was going to bed at 9 because I was like fucking exhausted. I was exhausted, but I wouldn't wake up until like 11 a.m. And and it wasn't just like I wouldn't wake up until 11 a.m. Like I was sleeping as if I took like a Xanax, 2 of them. Fuck that, 3 of them. As if I took 3 Xannies. I was sleeping hard. Like I remember my girlfriend at that time, she like texted me, and like she had texted me at like 9 or 8, and I had texted her back at 11:30. I was like, oh, my bad, I just woke up. And she's like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Because the problem is that not only had I just woken up, I felt like I could just continue to sleep. And it was at that moment that I was like, nah, something's up. Yeah, this is odd. So that's where I was kind of like, okay. Obviously I hadn't went blind, and obviously I was in college. I was like, oh, I slept in, so what? It doesn't matter. I don't have like a real life right now. Like I'm partying, and I'm going to school. Like we know how college goes. So I just didn't think of it, and until I actually like got diagnosed. No, that's a lie. Until I went blind, then I was like, this is super odd. But even if you watch one of my last videos, even with that, it took me 3 days to call a nurse hotline, because I'm just so like, I'd rather not deal with it, and like I'd rather not think about it, because at the end of the day, like when it gets serious enough, that's when I'm like, all right, attend to the doctor. But even with the blindness, it took me 3 days. I'm like, should I go see somebody about this? Should I go see somebody about this? So that just kind of tells you like my mindset with everything, which brings me to the point of like, I'm not necessarily like the most empathetic because of it. Like I'm not a super empathetic person because of like, 1, that I have MS, and then 2, how I view pain and how I view like struggling. I more so see it as like that's life. Like that's life. Life is a struggle. Life is a test almost. Like, and it's not fun. Life is gonna be challenging. Like that's the way it's set up. And I think you can either choose to like rewire your brain in order to view it in a way that not only is it a challenge, but it's a challenge you're going to conquer, because it's kind of like a game. If you view life as a challenge, you could do it like what those fucking TV shows that you see, like where they have like challenges. View it as like that shit. And it's just like, oh wow, this is just like another hurdle that I get to try and challenge. Like it's a challenge that I get to try to overcome, or it's like it's an obstacle that I have to kind of figure out how to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Reference to dodgeball, yes. Then you just try to figure it out, because that's how life should be. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's a struggle, and then you get to like, from that struggle, not only get to learn from it, but then you get to grow from it, and you get to be a better person, and then life actually becomes more enjoyable, like way more enjoyable. And you have a new perspective, and the new perspective just like heightens your awareness, and then boom, we're on cloud 9. Like it's just like this like leveling up. It's more so like each challenge provides a better you, and you just keep going, you keep going, you keep going. It's exciting. That's why I always say, like I think I even said in my last video, it's like getting diagnosed with MS was a blessing. Like it's so cool. Like I get to have MS. Like I get to have that struggle that I get to handle, and like kind of like try to figure out how to work with every day in life. That's cool. you just have to, it's all about rewiring the motherfucker. Because everything is gonna be a challenge. But how you perceive the challenge kind of like sets the way for how it is that you are gonna go through life. And that's just kind of it. But yeah, that's it.